This video is a series of thoughts that have been in my mind throughout the week. Some things that I've learned, some things that I've done, some things that I've seen. So these are some of my shares. The first one that I would actually be speaking about is the Green Books app, which is officially on iOS. I'm very excited. It's been a long journey in the sense of actually getting the app done. I had to learn iOS development, which meant actually departing a little bit from Android, and because I wanted to simply do Android apps and I wanted to abstain from iOS. Once I did the market research for Green Books and seen what our audience is, they were predominantly iOS. I would say that perhaps less than 10 people that I actually spoke to had an Android phone. So it made a lot of sense to have an iOS or an Android or a mobile, a web based experience. That being said, I didn't go for the web based. I thought I would dislike it too much to actually keep going and to do it. So iOS, I told myself that I would be willing to accept the frustration of developing for iOS because I wanted to do more app development. And frustration did happen, which is what I'm still accepting, as every time I learn something new, that it is going to be difficult to a certain degree, that there's a lot of ignorance that I have to spend time to learn. There's, like, for example, in the iOS development, I had to become accustomed to Xcode, to be accustomed to how the IDE takes time to actually check everything and how to know when something's actually not going to work and to stop the emulator so it doesn't waste my time. And I've also learned how to publish your apps on the Apple Play Store. And some of the lessons I've learned from this experience are that you need screenshots for two different sizes, so 5 inches and 6 inches. You need to make sure that if users are able to create accounts, they're also able to delete them. You gotta make sure that your keyboard does not cover any other views. And one way to do this is actually, the easiest way is when the user clicks outside the text field and also, outside of the keyboard, it also removes the keyboard, so it dismisses the keyboard. So that's a good way to do it, so you don't have to deal with that. And so now there's going to be debugging that has to be done. Like, I actually had a friend, and I'm greatly appreciative that she did this. She actually downloaded the app and was a beta tester. I didn't even ask her, and I'm very thankful for her doing that. And she showed me that there were some bugs that I didn't see when I was doing it myself. So those bugs included dark mode, which on dark mode we don't have colors for dark mode, so it looked really weird. Like, there was no text that were being filled out in the text field. You couldn't see it, and the colors were messed up. So I'm thankful for that. I didn't know that happened, and I've since updated the app. I will be also looking through the app once again. So besides the app, what else has been cool? I've been driving, and there's this lesson that I've learned from driving, which It's not life shattering, it's common, and it's the idea of, well, two lessons from it. One lesson is tied to the teachings of Earl Nightingale, and the other is teachings from Myron Golden. So from Earl Nightingale, in which he talks a lot about knowing where you're going and you find the way, and that he compares our mind as being a ship. So he said that if we know where we're going, we're going to get there. And if we don't know, then we'll sink. And that's I can see this every day, like when I'm driving, is that I do have to give direction to the car, because otherwise I would just go forward and hit something, or a car would hit me. So I have to pay attention, I have to look, and also I have to have a destination in mind so I can get there. And one of the lessons he mentioned is to not worry about the how. And that's also a parallel in driving. I don't know how the car is doing what it's doing. I understand very surface level that gas is used to power up and the engine makes it go vroom. I don't understand how the engine was built. I don't understand how to build an engine. I don't understand how to turn gas into actual energy for a car. I don't know how to dissipate the heat of that. And so all these hows, it's like, how do I get to this thing, to this location that is 50 miles away in an hour if I go 50 miles per hour? It's the car is doing the how for us, and we're just giving the direction and going on that path. And the second thing that it taught is the lessons by Myron Golden about leverage. So he uses the example of walking, driving a car, a plane, and maybe something else as leverages. And in this instance, we had walking and we had a car. So around here, the closest grocery store is a 25-minute walk. So that means if I want to get eggs, it will take me 25 minutes to get there. It'll take me maybe 5 to 10 minutes to buy the eggs, and then 25 more minutes to get back home. And if I ended up using a car, then it only takes me 5 to 7 minutes to get to the grocery store. It'll still take me the same amount of time to shop, and then it'll take me 7 to 10 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes to get back home. So by taking a car, I can actually make multiple trips and then I'll still be walking back home. And another thing that this leverage the car gives you is how much of the world you have access to now in a day. So in 25 minutes, I can go way further in a car than in 25 minutes that I can go by foot. And if you go in the west, if you walk in the west for 25 minutes, you won't really see anything. If you drive to the west for 25 minutes, then you'll see a lot. So that's another takeaway I got from driving. And since I've been reading Henry George, and he mentioned that capital comes from labor, I actually put that to practice, and I am working with a business partner in Côte de Fer to actually have a egg restaurant. So we boil eggs and then we sell it. And based on our math, we should be doing about 1,000 good and profit a day from that. And the idea is the capital that we are allocating, we're not going to actually be using, is just in case. Our goal is not to actually use that money to pay our employees, or yeah, that's the best way to describe it. It would be after their labor, they get paid of the value that they created. That's the goal, so we can create businesses and jobs that would actually be easy and fast to implement, so that people can actually get jobs and be able to eat. And I will actually keep you guys updated and to tell you how the experiment goes, because our goal is just to find services that are easy and cheap to start and see what can actually be profitable in Côte d'Ivoire and how we can scale those and use that money and the knowledge that we get from actually building those businesses to be bigger and to create more value, have more profit, and also increase our wages and our workforce until we lower unemployment and we create enough value to be super wealthy.